Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Nita Connections video series. This week, we're celebrating National Volunteer Week here at Nita. My name is Gabe Gavito. I'm the Volunteer Program Supervisor. And today, for our very last episode for National Volunteer Week, I am joined by Nita staff members who were all once volunteers. So just to kind of give an overview of who's joining me today, I have Paige Sklar, who's our Development Associate. Nicole Doyle, who is our Helpline Associate, Chelsea Kronengold, who's our Communications Manager, and Carly Andrade, who's our Partnerships and Programs Associate. Thanks, everyone, for joining with me. So for everyone that's tuning in, National Volunteer Week is a celebration of the individuals and families who come together to support NEDA throughout its different programs and services. This week is an opportunity for us to reflect on what we have accomplished, what we are currently doing, and what we need to do in the future in order to strengthen NEDA's mission. None of this is possible without the tireless efforts from walk volunteers, legislative advocates, NEDA Awareness Week volunteers, body project facilitators, conference volunteers, NEDA ambassadors, clinical advisors, helpline volunteers, forum moderators, and much more. So on behalf of the NEDA staff, I would like to thank each and every single person that has volunteered at NEDA in one way or another. We truly appreciate your support, and we couldn't do half the work that we do without you. And in times like these where there's so much uncertainty, it's really important that people are aware of our gratitude for volunteers. So I'd like to kick it off and introduce everybody. Welcome. Thanks for joining with me today.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you for having us.
Of course. So we're going to have a moderated discussion today. I'm going to ask some questions to some of the NEDA staff here to talk about their volunteer experience. So just a little quick background about my volunteer experience. I started volunteering with NEDA back in 2011 as a Proud to Be Me forum moderator. Proud to Be Me was a website that was for young teens to connect with one another related to body image issues, eating disorders, and other teen-related topics. And so that was my first exposure at volunteering at NEDA. And then in 2012, I had the opportunity to intern inside the New York City office on the Helpline as a Helpline resource intern. And my experience from those two opportunities has really given me the foundation as to what I've had the opportunity to work on over the past few years as a staff member. So I do want to go around and ask everyone to introduce themselves and talk about your volunteer role and what year did you volunteer at NEDA. So we're going to kick it off. Carly, would you mind talking about your volunteer experience with us?
Hi, everyone. So my position, my title was called Strategic Partnerships Intern, and I started interning with NEDA 2017 through 2018. It was actually, I was an undergrad at UC Davis. So I found out the opportunity through an internship program as a volunteer internship. It was really, really rewarding. I was there interning for, 2017 and 2018 while I was still in school.
Great. Awesome. Nicole, do you want to tell us about your volunteer role and when you were a volunteer at NEDA?
Sure. So I was a helpline volunteer, so I answered calls and chats to provide support to people who are struggling with eating disorders and their loved ones, and I volunteered from 2018 to 2019.
Awesome. Chelsea, tell us a little bit about your volunteer experience.
Oh boy, where do I begin? So I started volunteering in 2012, initially as a walk coordinator in Gainesville, Florida. Go Gators. And then simultaneously, I also interned with Proud to Be Me, as Gabe was mentioning before, our former youth site. And then from there, I became a consultant. So and then staff. That's my journey.
Awesome. Cool. And last but not least, Paige, tell us a little bit about what you did as a volunteer.
I started volunteering, same as Carly actually, from 2017 to 2018. I started as a Helpline volunteer, and then I reached out to Jessica Hickman, our National Walks Director, to coordinate a NEDA walk. So I became a walk coordinator, and then I started volunteering in the development department.
Cool. Well, it sounds like everyone had a little bit of similar experiences, certainly all very program related. Now, I think the next question is one that we often don't get an opportunity to reflect back on. So I'm going to ask you all, what made you want to volunteer at NEDA? And I just briefly want to explain like why I wanted to. So I actually knew about NEDA as early as 2008. I knew that the organization existed, but I didn't know that there were volunteer opportunities. And for me, I was in my college dorm room in 2011. It was really late at night. I don't think I probably wasn't able to sleep, and I wanted to do something. And so I thought back to NEDA, and I wanted to be a part of it in some capacity. So I went to the website, and I saw that there were volunteer opportunities in the New York City office, which was perfect because I'm here in New York City. And that's really where my journey started. It started with just a brainstorm in my dorm room one night. So, Carly, can you tell me a little bit about what made you want to volunteer at NEDA?
Yeah, it was kind of similar to you. I was in school. I was looking for an internship actually, or looking for something, besides school. I wanted to do something else to focus on. Heard about the opportunity. It's something that a cause that's really close to me and means a lot to me. And I was like, this is perfect. This is totally something I care about. This is something that I feel is an important thing to work on, to work with. And so I was really excited about it. And that's why I started interning with Nita.
Cool. Nicole, how about you? What made you want to volunteer at NEDA?
So I first heard about NEDA back in college. I was doing a project on eating disorders, and I came across NEDA's website, and it was so helpful with doing that project. So then fast forward, I completed a graduate degree in mental health counseling. And after I graduated, I was looking for an opportunity to practice the skills I learned, to learn more about eating disorders and to feel like I was helping other people. So I found out that NEDA was located in New York, where I had recently moved to, and thought it would be a great opportunity to get to learn more and, yeah, be able to help people.
That's awesome. Very cool. Chelsea, how about you? What made you want to volunteer with NEDA way back when?
Yeah, similar to Carly and Nicole and Gabe. I learned about NEDA in college. I initially attended University of South Florida, which has a pretty big eating disorder and body image research lab. So I was a research assistant in there, and there was a Tampa walk at that time that I heard about but didn't attend. And then I transferred to the University of Florida, and I was shocked that there really wasn't any eating disorder resources on campus. I myself struggled with binge eating disorder, and I was looking for a community of people resources, awareness, outreach, all that fun stuff. So I was in the library one day, and I don't even remember how I came across NEDA, reached out to coordinate a walk, and here we are.
That's great. Awesome. Well, it sounds like everyone had some really like-minded experiences on how we all came to volunteer at NEDA. So, I guess in closing, for people who are listening to us, what message would you like to share with those who are considering volunteering at NEDA? And I do kind of want to kick this one off because I'm going to tap back in.
You missed me.
Oh my, no! Sorry, Paige. I'm so sorry. Paige.
It's okay.
Sorry about that, Paige.
No, I had to. I couldn't let us move on to the next question. I had to share. So NEDA is really close to my heart, just because of my own personal experiences of struggling with an eating disorder. And I didn't know what NEDA was until after I struggled. And I found out, similar to Chelsea, that there was a walk in my area. so when I attended, I was just so blown away by the community of people there and the different stories of hope that I heard. And I knew that this was something that I needed to get involved with. And it's to this day the best thing that I ever did. Just seeing that the impact that you're making on the community is incredible.
Awesome, Paige. Thank you so much for sharing that. I think that's what's really great about volunteering is the ability to connect with your local community and really come together to see the work that you're all doing. I appreciate you sharing that. So now to sort of tie things all together, what message would you all like to share with those who are considering volunteering at NEDA?
Start. I would say go for it. It feels really good when you're doing work that feels like it's actually helping people. It's a lot easier to get things done because you feel like what you're doing is important and making an impact. Also, I think just like the opportunities that come out of volunteering and the people that you meet. When I first started volunteer interning, I was working under someone named Kristen Snow, who was her position was Senior Director of Strategic Partnerships. And that just relationship really stands out to me as like one of my favorite things about volunteering and interning, because like she's someone who's like now like a huge role model to me and someone who I created like a really close bond with. And like, without the volunteer opportunity at NEDA, like I wouldn't probably never have met her. And like, she's someone who like I look up to a lot. So, I would say go for it and, take advantage of all the people that you meet and all the people that you can help and all that. So go for it.
Nicole, how about you?
So similar to Carly, I would definitely say go for it. I know for me, I was really scared about what I was getting myself into, what the helpline was all about, and what I would be doing there. And it was really a great experience. And I met some really great people and learned so much from that experience that it's definitely worth it.
All right, Chelsea, what message do you have for people who want to consider volunteering at NEDA?
Well, it's not like I'm going to tell you not to go for it, right? So I'm going to echo the message of going for it. I think for me, really community, which similar theme I think that's being discussed, it was the most valuable. It really, getting involved with NEDA helped me on my personal journey to recovery. Most of my closest friends I've met through NEDA, and yeah, it's a great opportunity. And the cool thing about NEDA is there's so many different departments that you can volunteer and intern with. So myself and Paige, we both kind of jumped around a little bit and found what we were interested in and stuck with it. So definitely 100% recommend.
And Paige, what would be your message to people?
Yeah. So my volunteer experience really shaped my life, and I think it was such an incredible experience for me. And similar to Carly, Jessica became someone that is such a role model in my life and somebody that I look up to tremendously. And wow, I mean, the people that I met along the way have just really inspired me. And if you're looking for a sign to volunteer, let this be it. And please get involved and find out the different ways that you can.
Great, awesome. And just my 2 cents on it. I've had the opportunity to work with so many volunteers throughout the years. And similar to how everyone shared that they have a role model, my role model, believe it or not, are our volunteers. Our volunteers inspire me every single day to learn and grow from them. I have the opportunity to see volunteers take next steps in their life, professionally, academically, personally. So it's really great that you've all had some strong impact from volunteering at the organization. And so for everyone that is out there listening, to learn more about how you can get involved with NEDA in your area, please visit the Get Involved section on our website, or you can email us at info@myneda.org. There are so many different opportunities and ways that you can get involved with our organization now and in the future, and we hope to work with as many as you as we can, as time goes on. So I want to. Oh, we do have a question. So oftentimes when people want to volunteer with the organization, we have folks who have either personally struggled with an eating disorder or have supported a friend or a loved one or has maybe never had any direct experience with an eating disorder, but maybe they've learned about it in a college course. So there are different requirements for all of our volunteer opportunities, but generally speaking, it's important that individuals read the description and identify if the task or responsibility for that specific volunteer role works best for them in their personal situation. So for folks who may have personal experience, it's important for them to identify with their treatment team and personally with themselves if volunteering in a certain high intensity position is right for their recovery at that moment. There are specific requirements for all the opportunities, which could be found on our website, or again, you could email info@MyNita to learn more about some of these requirements, especially if some of them require any physical location settings or if there are remote volunteer opportunities. Great. Well, thank you, everyone, for joining with us today. I think we had a great discussion. It was really great to kind of relive the volunteer experience. And happy National Volunteer Week to everybody that's watching.
Bye. Thank you.